Hi, I'm Alec Beane.
And I'm Jordan Rosenthal, and today we're looking at the AFC Playoff picture.
Six weeks have gone by in the NFL season. With that comes the NFL playoff picture. Chiefs currently hold the number one seed in the AFC with a 5-1 record. Although they are currently the number one seed, I think they drop in the standings due to their strength of schedule coming up for the rest of the season. The schedule consists of the Dolphins, Eagles, Packers, Bills, and Bengals over the course of the next 11 weeks. Division games are also always a hard-fought battle, making the rest of their schedule rather difficult. I think that they end up with the number 2 seed in the AFC.
The number 2 seed in the AFC is the Miami Dolphins, the explosive Miami Dolphins. They're currently 5-1. Hardest games coming up. They've got Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills on the docket, but at this point, not too sure it matters. They have the most explosive offense we've probably ever seen in the NFL to this point. Just a bunch of fast, speedy players we saw last week, even with the loss of explosive rookie Devon Achane. Doesn't matter. 40-year-old Raheem Mostert still gets it done. Salvin Ahmed looks like an NFL player. They went down 14-0 to the Panthers. Did not matter. This team, as of now, they look unstoppable. They're getting Jalen Ramsey back. They have to be the favorite to pick up the number 1 seed come season end.
The Ravens currently hold the top seed in the AFC North with a 4-2 record, and they sit at number 3 in the playoff picture. Although they have the top seed, they've been getting by teams with ease. However, their 2 losses come at the hands of the Colts and the Steelers. Both games they lost in the final minutes. Tough losses, obviously, coming against the Colts, which has a bottom-tier offense in the league. Same with the Steelers. Steelers really get carried by their defense, which we'll touch upon later. However, I think that as the season goes on, being in the tough division that they're in, the Bengals are going to start to heat up again, which they've already done. I think they find their way in the playoffs by way of the 6th seed.
Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming in at the number 4 seed currently. This is a team that sits in the 4 seed, sits 4-2, and I don't think they've hit full stride yet. Trevor Lawrence still doesn't really look like Trevor Lawrence just yet. Last week they had a good game, but Travis Etienne's having a great season to this point. I think this team could be even better than they are currently. They have 49ers, Bengals, and Ravens coming up, but their overall future schedule is pretty weak. I think they could aim for the 3 seed.
The Bills sit in the number 5 slot after a tough win over the Giants the other night. They've been one of the more inconsistent 4-2 teams to this point, but they have the talent to do a lot more than they currently have. Stephon Diggs has been on fire all season. Josh Allen still has seemed to yet found his stride with all the other receivers besides Diggs. They seem like they're getting hot again. However, due to the fact they have the Dolphins in their division, we have them at number 1 at the end of the season. I don't think they're going to move past them, and they're going to sit at the 5th seed for the remainder of the season.
Coming in at the 6th seed, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3-3. They've been absolutely carried by their defense. Their offense is borderline unwatchable. The return of Deontay Johnson should help them because Allen Robinson is not explosive anymore. George Pickens is a good football player, but he doesn't bring the explosive aspect that Deontay Johnson will bring back. Najee Harris runs in slow motion. Their defense really is carrying them. I think they fall out of the playoffs eventually. I would take almost any team below them in the standings right now, including the Browns, the Texans, the ghost of Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets at 3-3. The Bengals for sure, and maybe even the 2-3 Chargers eventually usurping this team. And I'm sure Matt Canada will do everything in his power to make sure that happens as well.
Finally, wrapping up this AFC playoff picture, we have the Cleveland Browns. A team that a couple years ago seemed to have high hopes for their future has crumbled since the departure of Baker Mayfield, along with Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, so on and so forth. Although they are currently 3-2 and sit in the number 7 seed of the playoffs, they miss all-pro running back Nick Chubb for the remainder of this season. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers, quite literally take any team below them that isn't the Patriots or the Broncos. Houston seems to have a bright future. I don't think they get it done this year, though. The Bengals, they're obviously going to be surgical towards the end of the year. This is what always happens with them. due to a tough division, battling with injuries, I think the Browns are going to fall out of the playoffs pretty soon.
That's going to wrap it up for this week's AFC playoff picture. Stay tuned later this week to see the NFC playoff picture.
From the UCTV studio, I'm Alec Beane.
And I'm Jordan Rosenthal.